What is up, Cardfighters? Chris here from Vanguard Central, bringing you our updated, finally, I know GBT6 was a while ago, updated Bloom Ahsha deck profile. The deck is very strong, pretty underrated. You don't hear a lot of talk about it, but it's a very strong deck. Has the ability to play around everything, so check it out.
Stand up, Vanguard!
Alright, for our starter, we have two Elmies. Elmi's really important for this deck just because you can copy a unit, but most importantly, you get to, whatever unit you copy that's grade 2 or above, I actually forget that sometimes, grade 2 or above, you have to copy. But it's really good because you're going to be able to bounce that unit back to your hand. So, in a lot of situations, I'll copy my grade 3 Vanguard, get a copy from deck, and then turn it'll bounce to my hand and I'll have the Strife Otter guaranteed for the next turn. But then you also run 2 so that you can copy it just in case you didn't get like a good hand and you couldn't field other units earlier. For grade 3s we have 4 Ahsha, the main boss of the deck obviously. Her GB2 is really good, especially if you're running out of strides or running out of counterblast. And the on-stride effect is really good for building up your field, help you build advantage, and can really punish opponents a lot. If you make good use of it. And the backup grade 3 is Enos. She's really important. She's vital to this deck because she gives you a way to play against the control matchups by being able to go back into the bottom of the deck at the end of the turn and search the top 5 for a Bloom card. You get to effectively keep your field clear versus control. And her on-ride skill to search for a Bloom is also pretty useful, but really we're playing her for that GB1 rearguard effect that lets you play around control. Grade 2s, we have 4 Thiria. She's really good in this deck because she's coming in as a copy of the name, unlike the other maiden that people were using before, which has an active skill to copy names. So with her, you're actually going to get Bloom effects off because she's coming in as the copy. And then her other skill is pretty nice, not always useful, but you get to bounce her back to hand by returning a copy of her at the beginning of the main phase. So this can be good because like you could activate Bloom effects again by bouncing it back, and then you'll have it for that turn to call. So very important card in the deck, helps you get your combos off with a little bit more consistency. We have 4 Greenshot Elf, just for power plays. You can do 2 in a column, makes them both 11k, and then, well, I guess if you have 2, it would make them both 13k, and then you make a 26 column there. So really good numbers. If you had the Thiria, it would make a 22 column. So just really good, and it's another combo piece besides Katrina, which you'll see later. And then my last grade 2 is 2 Poker. I run the 2 Poker over like things like Saliness, like the Glimmer Wraith clone or the Amber clone, because I think the deck's worst matchup is Link Joker. And if you're unable to properly like use Enos and you end up finding yourself locked, or you're playing against Chaos and they have something locked for you, then you can use Poker to get out of that situation and keep pressuring them. So you could use this in a situation where your opponents use all their Chaos Universe. You could play one, unlock the other one, copy it, unlock the other one, and then if you have Enos and you're able to take advantage of that, you could keep the board clean and they won't be able to lock you anymore. For the grade 1s, we're running 4 the Bloom PG. I did a bit of testing and discussing with some friends. We decided that you don't actually counterblast that much in this deck. I think only one of the strides counterblasts, and so you really just have to be using Ahsha's on stride effect if you want to be counterblasting, or you could use her own effect. So you don't need the unflipping, and being able to search Bloom out, getting it in your hand from using Enos skill, or using its effect to copy it and add it to hand are really important. So definitely the PG of choice for this deck. This might seem weird, running 2 Strife Otters. The reason for that is because I wanted more effect cards. I didn't really want to clog my hand with Strife Otters, even though it is super important to get on Ahsha in this deck. The deck still runs well if you get on Enos, you just have to learn how to play around it a bit better. So we're only running the 2 Strife Otter just not to clog up our hands with units that don't have as many effects. And a lot of times you can end the game before you need to stride like a billion times. So The 2's been working out fine for me. Haven't had any problems yet, but you know, if things come up, I might change it. We got 4 Katrina. This is the key card, the finisher of the deck, so to speak, because every time you call a copy of her, she's going to give every copy plus 4k. And this is going to stack, and it's going to make huge columns. You could probably be hitting like 50 to 60k on a good play. So definitely finisher for the deck, really, really strong. And yeah, that's really all I can say about that. It's your game ender. And my last grade 3, some people are running 2 of this and running more Strife Otters, is Maiden of Sweetberry. So she gets to put herself back into the deck and basically call out any copy of any unit that you have. So you could, if you're on Enos, she's really useful because you get to call out a copy of Enos. You can copy Vanguard, so she kind of acts as another Thiria in that sense, and so she makes your combo plays a lot more consistent, and that's why I'm running her at 4 instead of the Strife Otters, because I just wanted to value that consistency of our combo plays and our board setup. Triggers, we got 4 Ahsha crits and 4 normal crits just to provide a lot of pressure. I played a lot of decks that like to run stands with high power columns these days, and I still like to do 8 criticals just to give Vanguard a lot of pressure. And you can think a lot more how to take advantage of your stands that way. Like, the stands become that much more pressuring if you have the crits, in my opinion. And for the stands, we're running no Maiden of Daybreak. We're just running Lisbeth. And the reason for Lisbeth is because she's going to enable you to put cards back into your deck. We're not running Pia, so we don't have any way to get cards back in the deck other than Lisbeth. And she's also really important because she's going back into the deck, which late game you can just keep the stands going in your deck. Maybe you'll drive check into it, you'll find a way not to guard with it, and then it'll go back. It'll put key pieces like Katrina back into your deck. It's just an amazing card, and it helps you really grind out games that you need to. And then lastly is the 4 heal. For our strides, we'll start with the little kind of tech options first. We have 1 Sea Breeze, just in case the grade 2 game is, we can't really do anything about it if they decide to. So we want to be able to Sea Breeze and take advantage of them, get our GB effects so we can get our engine going. We got 2 Multivitamin Dragons. One of these is going to become a Verrano, which I'll show you guys next. But right now, I'm still waiting for my friend to give it to me, so just 2 Multivitamin Dragons. This is really good, like if you have no counterblast. A lot of people are using Jingle Flower. I'm not a fan of Jingle Flower, but just because I don't think he gives that many bonuses, but really Multivitamin is a way to push when you don't have any counterblast, or a way to push while you're setting up the field. So you don't always have to have the perfect field setup with Multivitamin. You can just make the perfect field setup and get a lot of power along the way. So then our next one is 3 Verranos. And so I'm actually going to go up to 4 when I take out 1 Multivitamin. And the reason for that is because she's key to your control matchups. She allows you to play units from hand, like an Ultimate type effect, before the Stride effect goes off. So you can have nothing on the field, put something down, her effect copies it, or will copy units already, and then you can use Ahsha's effect to copy again. So you're going to be able to build a full field pretty easily that your opponent can't even touch, because it'll go back. You can use your tricks with Enos to make it all go back, and even if they wipe everything, you just have those plays where you can just plop things out before other effects. So she's really important to the control matchup, in my opinion, so that's why I'm going to run her at 4 and currently have her at 3. We have 4 Dream Spinning Ahshas. This card just sets up for your power plays with Glorious Bloom Ahsha, and so she can be used as a good first try to set up GB2, giving that plus 5k to the front row, or she can be used with the effect to copy a unit and help build your field. So very versatile card. I've used her in both ways, and really she's just setting up for Glorious Bloom Ahsha. Glorious Bloom Ahsha also copies a card, and then she gives plus 5k to those units that you've chosen for every one of the Dream Spinning Ahshas you have face up. So if you have the 4 face up, you're getting the plus 20k, and that's huge. And she can flip anything, which is great. So you could like stride into Dream Spinning, go into Glorious Bloom, flip something else, get the plus 20k, and if that didn't kill him, you could do the other one, flip something else, and get the plus 20k again. And that's not just plus 20k to one unit, that's plus 20k to possibly 4 units. So you're looking at plus 40k to your columns, and that's just a huge finisher. Her last skill comes up sometimes is if you have a copy of Vanguard on the field, then you get a crit. So you have an extra Ahsha on the field, you'll get a crit to go along with it. So that can be really pressuring. If you are in a tough situation and you have an Ahsha, you could just call the Ahsha, use it to give power to herself. You'll have a 31k Ahsha, and you'll have 46k Vanguard with extra crit. So that's definitely a use that might be overlooked sometimes. And then lastly, we have 4 G Guardians. I'm thinking about putting another Dismal, but I like this card again for the control matchups because you get to put something on the field that they can't deal with. They could kill your whole field, and then you could just be like, okay, I'm gonna call this so that I can use Ahsha's skill on it next turn. So I'm really liking that, but sometimes the needing to call something to get the plus 5k can be detrimental. So that's how it goes. Maybe looking to get another, like a Dismal in here, just so that we can protect our key rearguards like Katrina. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked our updated Ahsha Bloom deck profile. Again, the deck is very strong, very fun. Has the ability to play around anything if you play well, so really excited to be playing this deck, and something I'm looking to playing in the future. Very excited for GBT08 sets. So leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think about this video, about the deck. Have any comments, definitely leave it down below. Give us a thumbs up, helps out a ton. And as always, subscribe for more content. Vanguard Central, out.